Hey guys, it's been a while since I've talked about this topic, which is potential updates that could come to Skyblock. Now, some of these could be pure fantasy and never see the light of day, but some of them are definitely realistic. But right off the bat, I want to talk about the whole 1.16 survey that has been going out recently. Now, that is really interesting if you ask me, because if they were to add 1.16 and Skyblock was able to be played on it, like having a 1.16 island, for example, that would be pretty dang cool. They would have a lot of access to new mobs and stuff like that, but people would probably have to play on the new island on 1.16, so that might be a downside. But that would be really cool, considering they have access to all these new tools and stuff to do on this island. Hopefully that comes to the light of day since they're putting a survey out about it, but who really knows? So besides, a little thing from the survey, what else is there? Well, I think we are going to be getting eventually another skill update. At one point, we got the skill level cap raised from 25 to 50. I think it's not going to be raised again. Something that people have talked about, which I agree with and I think would be really cool, is a way to prestige your skills. Because if you guys happen to notice, you'll see when I get my combat XP down below, it's 18 mil over 0. So I have 18 million XP wasted. And it's like that for every skill you max, since there is no way to use that XP for anything. So what if you had a way to prestige your skill and set it back to level 1 and you get some kind of reward for it? Doesn't that sound kind of cool? I think it sounds pretty cool. Like you get some kind of permanent buff or something like a talisman, or setting your skill back, and maybe you could prestige it a couple times. Maybe it'd be slightly easier to level it up, stuff like that. So you're not too punished for prestiging, but it allows you to keep grinding. But there's two things about this grind that would be kind of an issue. One, there is not enough grinding methods in the current game to kind of support that kind of playstyle. Right now, I consider Skyblock as like a Lego type game where you kind of gotta build your own content. And the way people built their own content was doing skills. And the current skills, pretty much across all of them, except maybe fishing, since fishing actually got like a revamp way back when Skyblock first came out. But besides that, no other skill has really received any kind of buff. So if they ever did do a system like that, which I think would be great, they need to introduce new XP farming methods, like, new trees, new mobs. There's not too many skills in Skyblock, but there's definitely ways to go about making it more enjoyable for the player / more rewarding. Since one of my main philosophies, like playing this game, is try to do stuff that's worth doing, because you kind of get the most success that way. Like there's not too many skills. There's literally 7 of them. Like a new ore, new crop, new tree, new fish, like that easy. Fix the payable skills and new mobs, and then yet like a good way to grind. So it definitely makes that comment, like that kind of stuff, really viable, since it would be really cool to get a bunch of additional buffs for your character and allow them to make harder content in general. Since I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think harder content is just really good. Which is another thing. Right now, it seems like a lot of Skyblock content is built for the early mid game. If you guys notice, a lot of items introduced are very, very weak, which doesn't make sense. The main example is the Yeti sword. I will use that as an example. So way back when Emperors came out, the armor that they used, or the drop that it got from it, was really good. Like, Diver's armor was the best armor at the time. However, once they released the Yeti was just like, oh, Yeti sword? New amazing sword? Really high base stat strength? Oh, no damage though. So, and it had a janky spell. So it's just kind of bad, which is kind of lame, because it's like, oh, the rarest sea creature, one of the rarest drops, and it's useless. So you have something like the Midas AOTD performing better than it, which I didn't like at all. Because it's like really rare, you work towards it, gotta get level 25 skill, and it's useless. So that's kind of a gripe on my end, but definitely need more rewarding grinds that actually are good gear. Like level 25 fishing, man, come on. As of right now, I think they're coming with a fishing update, because you guys remember the other video from the other day where I talked about the new fishing enchant they showed off, which is a whole gateway to a bunch of new enchants that are like tier upable, which is a really cool mechanic, don't get me wrong. But if it's actually a fishing update we get, there's potentially some new mobs, since fishing enchants normally come from fishing mobs, so that'd be pretty cool to get a few new ones. Hopefully they're rewarding, but as I also talked about earlier today, like give more fishing XP and are relatively common, so fishing becomes an actually good, thing to grind. But that's all a dream. So besides that, what I want in the game. We already talked about 1.16. Like, I'd say that's pretty big, because there's a lot of cool stuff with that, and if we actually went in depth there, it would kind of be too much to talk about. So from there, with what we have currently in the game, what I want it to end up being, which I'm just really just focusing on, is just fix what we got, and by fixing it, just pretty much ignore everything in the game currently. I think a lot of the issues in the current game can be fixed by just pretending like they're not even there and just doing new things instead and just forgetting about them. Like a new island, new currency, stuff like that. That is, I think, would be a decent way to combat IRL trading, since there is definitely a way for them to introduce items that are undroppable, like just basically impossible to like send other players, like essence, for example. Some kind of currency like that, where you literally have no tangible access to it, and you can actually do, actually spend it properly, and not have IRL traders and dupers mess with it. But I might just be dreaming on something like that. So with the fishing update, that is something that I really want. But what would be like the biggest, like the fun thing to have? I think an actual wither boss would be cool, but I think that's what Necron is gonna be at the end of the dungeons. So that's kind of pointless there. I think they could really do good from taking some inspiration from Terraria, which is a game I like to, bring up a lot, since it is a very cool game, especially with something like the mod pack Calamity. If anyone knows what that is, they do a lot of cool stuff with the game. Like, the work they do is great. They made a really good game that was Terraria even better. Like, they literally, like, quadrupled the amount of content in the game. Like, that was good. So, imagine if Skyblock added a bunch of new stuff that made it really fun for players to work on. Since I feel I definitely am repeating myself at this point, but with how the current early game state of the game is, they need to definitely have something that players look forward to. Basically, it just sounds like people kind of play and the early game is fun, and then they realize in mid game there's no point, because like you're already like done the game by the time you hit mid game, since there's not really too much to do, and the armors are not really needed to do content, and yada yada yada. But there's also that sand island out in the Mushroom Desert, if you guys haven't seen it. There is also, which is something I want to talk about today too, if you guys go to Megacloon's NameMC, link will be down in the description. He has some interesting skins as of lately. I got a super chat today, and someone I didn't even know he had the skins uploaded there. And the potential island could have some really new mobs, since there was a few that definitely suit that whole, I called it Egyptian theme, but I don't know exactly what to call it. You guys might have a better idea what to call in the description, but for some reason I just thought like Egypt or like a desert or something. But I mean, everyone has their own kind of like thought process when they see Sus Discover stuff. But it looks like there's potentially a bunch of new, cool, interesting mobs coming. When will they come? Again, no idea. But the name is down in the description, so make what you want out of that. But also, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think would be cool to add to the game? Since honestly, I cannot think of a whole bunch besides building on ideas that I've already heard or / know that are coming. But unfortunately, most stuff I come up with would probably be shot down. Like, if I seriously got the chance to sit there and brainstorm some kind of update for Skyblock, odds are it would be shot down, since it would definitely be just tailored towards like end game people in the attempt to make something last longer than a few days. Because, I actually like playing the game for long amounts of time. But hey, that's just me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this, quick, not really quick, but commentary on talking about updates. If you do, maybe think about subscribing. We are probably at this point less than 1,000 subs from the big red YouTube rank. So if you want to help us with the channel, if you want to help us hit that sweet red name, be sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time, whether it's the stream or video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.